moving the post mills, you actually came up Post Mill Close. And yet this fine structure here is what they call a tower mill. And the reason for that is, if you look here, this is the kind of mill that was on the site, the buck or body of the mill. So to make sure that when the wind blows from this direction, the miller has to get out, get hold of this 30 great long lever. The levers feature quite a lot in windmills. This lever called the tail pole, and you push that tail pole round so that the mill is facing the wind. If the wind changes, the miller has to get out and change it again. On the front of the mill is the sails. They would go round in a reasonable breeze about 12 revolutions a minute. You've got a brick tower built of woodside bricks from down the road. So they should be good bricks, but although a few of them have started to decay a bit. On the top of it you've got the cap, which is the boat-shaped structure, and that boat-shaped structure will give you houses the first part of the power train to the machinery, and also turns into the wind. So when the wind changes on this mill, the cap turns to face the wind, and it does it by means of this little windmill at the back called the fan tail. Now, that's about as much as you really want to know. You've got the cap, the sails, the fan tail and the tail. Shut like this, like a Venetian line, and the mill will start moving. If the wind then gets up a lot, there'll be a tendency for the shutters to open. So the miller would go round the back of the mill, because the mill was struck by lightning twice in the past. So we don't want it to happen again, sort of thing, and get burned down. Both times the prompt action of the Croydon Borough Fire Brigade promptly put the fire out. But so it's been struck by lightning, so you're quite safe. And the council come and check it with some pinions, and actually by hooking weights on the chain, actually activates when the sails are shut or open. Above us we've got the fan tail, and if you look up, the fan's underneath the cap here, where the top window is, where they've got the anti-pigeon weights. I personally wouldn't want to carry one. I'd use a sack barrel, take it round, hook it on.
Oh, that's nice. Mm.
She wants to go last, so I'm going to go last with her.
Right, okay.
Oh, look, you can be here last. I'm sure the gentleman's yeah.
There is stairs.
The curb, so the brick tower, if you can see my thing, the brick tower finishes here. On top of that is a wooden curb, and that's held on by these tie rods that go down to the floor below. On top of the wooden curb, trust me because you can't see it, is all round in various sections, cast iron pieces. This is about quarter sky. It engages with the metal on the edge of the curb, and that will actually drive the mill. Now I said things are all done by levers. The corn is brought up on a sack hoist, which when it's spilling the wind, letting the wind go through the sails. In a high wind, there's always a chance the mill will take off and the brake won't hold it. Then you've got the classic case of this would get hot. You've got dust up here, you've got a damn good chance of an explosion. So a dusty atmosphere, and that friction making that, or if you get sparks, you know, caps get blown off and all kinds of things like that. On the cast iron mill, it would be expensive to repair. Whereas if you get any wear or damage, it's going to be the wooden teeth, and all you need is a good carpenter to shape another tooth up and wedge it in from this side, so that each individual tooth is inserted that way. Now, the wallower would be going round when the sails are going round, whether the miller is milling or not. And the reason for that, he might want to just bring the sacks of corn up here from the loading door where we saw them, right up to here for storage before processing. Chain at the bottom, the materials come up and they come up through these one-way trapdoors. They only go one way, these trapdoors.
You won't.
I know. Right, so they come up, and to get them to come up, by pulling this rope, if you look at the gap, look up here and you can see the windmill. It's about the only place you can, with the trees all around, that you can actually see it. Bear in mind, all these bits would have been winched up.
Do you want to go first? Thanks,
Really nice. I couldn't work out why they would be wooden, but they are doing them a spark.
Okay,
Yeah.
there.
I thought that as we came up the top, it was nice and cool.
Lovely up there, isn't it?
I just think it's very nice in the winter.
Oh, I forgot
That's the lever that operates the device above that engages the sack hoist. It goes all the way down, the one-way trapdoors again, corn comes up in the sacks, like this kind to this floor. It's probably the best model that was made professionally for us. Yeah, that one's not, well, the other ones we've had have been having the trouble. Getting into the mill, and then they put the bearings in and aligned it all up. So the corn is coming down the chute into the hopper. From the hopper it goes into the feed chute. From the feed chute it goes into the eye of the stones. It then gets ground, and by grounding it's a shearing process. It's not a crushing process like modern flour is made. Modern flour is made by crushing it between rollers. Stone ground flour is actually sheared between the corn gets caught in the furrows of the stones and keeps getting Can I just get there? Right, that's it. Right now, we've got mice in this, a circular sieve or wire machine. It's a fine mesh sieve, and what the miller would do, the meal would come down from the stones, down those chutes there, and these chutes here. He would then grab the saddle due to that restoration he'd done in 1927, that a lot of the machinery is still original in this mill. I mean, parts have been repaired and modified and rebuilt, but most of it is due to the fact that he restored this mill in the 20s. Then the council never demolished it. They were going to demolish it when they built the school, and there was a big public outcry. And when the school got demolished, the mill survived.